Today we're talking about the legacy of ancient Greece and how ancient Greece contributed to the modern world. An ancient story still told today describes a Greek philosopher named Archimedes who climbed into a bath filled to the brim with water. As the water overflowed onto the floor, he realized something extraordinary. The volume of his body could be measured by the amount of water that escaped the tub. After making this discovery, Archimedes is said to have shouted "Eureka!" which translates from Greek to "I found it." By being curious and by analyzing events, Archimedes had discovered an interesting fact about the natural world. Curiosity and careful observation are crucial in the study of science. This process of thinking is one of the many gifts that people today have received from the ancient Greeks. The Greeks left behind valuable ideas in many other fields as well. Not only have important concepts originated in Greece, but so have many of the words still used to describe those concepts. The world of the ancient Greeks may seem distant, but it is as close as the thoughts you have and the words you speak. In this lesson, you'll explore the advances that the ancient Greeks made in many aspects of their civilization. You'll also uncover how these achievements continue to influence our world today. Let's examine Greek contributions to modern times in the areas of language, government, medicine, math, science, architecture, entertainment, and sports. Today, the legacy of ancient Greece is still prominent in the world, and many of the ideas are used every day. One is philosophy. Several ancient Greek philosophers are considered the founding fathers of Western philosophy. Writings and ideas from individuals like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle are studied today by students. Philosophy, which translates to the love of wisdom, was developed to try to better understand the world in a non-religious or mythical way. Socrates tried to answer the question of what is right and wrong. Plato was a student of Socrates and used dialogue in his writings to answer questions like what is justice and what is the right type of government. Plato opened the first university of higher learning named the Academy. Aristotle was Plato's most famous student and helped develop reasoning for a middle ground between good and bad, and the idea of moderation, or the balance between the two extremes. He also tutored Alexander the Great as a child and during his reign as king. Another idea that came from the Greeks was their form of government. It was one of the most important items of the legacy of ancient Greece because it helped the development of democracy. This type of government allowed citizens to vote for new laws and their leaders. In this way, an idea for public infrastructure, a law or a leader, would be voted up or down by the citizens of the city-state. Today, almost every government in the world uses some form of democracy, allowing citizens to freely choose for themselves which laws or leaders will guide their community. Well, as many of us know, the ancient Greeks were fierce competitors. They enjoyed numerous competitions against each other, and in 776 BCE, they invented the Olympic Games to honor the Greek god Zeus. City-states like Athens and Sparta would send a team of athletes to compete in a variety of events like wrestling, javelin throwing, running, and horseback riding. Even during times of war, city-states would stop fighting to participate in the Olympic Games. Another great contribution the ancient Greeks made was architecture. They were masterful at building structures. Their architectural styles are some of the most widely imitated in the world. The ancient Romans and builders during the Renaissance period imitated architecture, such as styles as Corinth, Ionic, and Dorian columns. Classical Greek style can be viewed in almost every city in the world, including the United States, where many government buildings feature this style of architecture. The U.S. Capitol and the Supreme Court have elements of Greek architecture, such as columns and pediments. Ancient Greeks were also known for their development of Western drama to a form of storytelling played out by actors. Two types of theater were invented by ancient Greeks, which were comedy and tragedy. Men and boys were only allowed to be actors. Ancient Greeks incorporated different effects from sound to visual into plays to enhance the performance. Theaters were constructed in every ancient Greek city, which offered perfect acoustics and sightlines for the audience. The ancient Greeks even had theater competitions to determine the best playwright. Ancient Greek theater influenced famous playwrights like William Shakespeare, and today influences television programs, movies, and Broadway productions around the world. Ancient Greek art has also been very influential to Western artists for its existence. Ancient Greek artists were masters at creating realistic sculptures and statues. Each piece of art captured the realistic beauty and perfect form of the subject, whether it was an animal, human, or part of nature. Ancient Roman artists imitated ancient Greek art, or they had an ancient Greek create the piece of art. Today, ancient Greek art techniques are prevalent in artwork around the world. Ancient Greeks were able to advance many scientific theories and inventions. Many of these advancements are still used today in the modern world. Ancient Greek mathematician Pythagoras developed the Pythagorean theorem. Euclid created geometry, and Archimedes calculated the value of pi. Other advancements were made in astronomy, calculating time and distance. As you can see, many of the Greek influences still live on in our culture and other cultures around the world.